Hey,
There we
everybody.
go.
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
No, I'm your host for as most of you know. But anyhow, I, of course, have a few friends of mine here because we're here today to talk about adults with cerebral palsy and things like that, and especially because today is all about CP World Day.
We should. Hi guys. We should all say our age just so people know that we're adults with CP and all different ages. So hi, I'm Marie. Well, people know me as Marie Wo CP, and I'm 39 with cerebral palsy.
Hi, I'm Talia Flores. Most of you guys may know me as the author of James Ticking Time Bomb, also known as Stomping on Cerebral Palsy with Talia. I'm 22.
Hi, I'm Heather Hancock. I have spastic diplegic CP and I am 49.
Aaron.
Of course, as most of you know, I'm Aaron Kronsky. I am 21, and I also have cerebral palsy as well.
So today our mission today is talking about adults with CP. Most times when cerebral palsy is talked about from birth to the age of 18, but after 18, people kind of, the medical professionals kind of forget about us and don't really study CP in the older population. So we want to come together and talk about being an adult with CP. As most of you know, that my platform on I run healthy lifestyle cerebral palsy, and my platform is all about living a healthy life with CP as an adult. So if there's any questions out there, please don't hesitate to ask. We all are adults with CP, and we all know what entails being adults with CP.
Yeah, yeah. As of course Marie just mentioned, we're basically out here today because of CP World Day, and to give be able to give to give other adults with CP a voice, because yeah, as Marie just said, that once they turn 18, they get overlooked. They get overlooked by, like, they basically get completely overlooked.
Um,
The reality is, guys, there are 17 million of us worldwide with cerebral palsy at varying ages. But for those of us that are 18 or older, all services cease at the age of 18. You're kind of kicked to the curb, medically and otherwise. So we're here to discuss every issue from medical issues to employment issues to housing issues to relationships to whatever. Just get on with your questions, please.
um, dear, as the four of us are talking, do you guys, especially Aaron and Taya being the youngest of the group, do you guys have any questions for me or Heather that we can answer? Because we're
Well,
a little bit older than you guys.
well, I kind of need advice now because for those of you that don't know, I recently just fully transitioned into adulthood because at the age of 21, you're still considered a child in the laws of cerebral palsy advocacy and Medicaid. And I just transferred from being a child in the society to an adult. So I was wondering, how did you guys cope with it? How did you guys cope with not having better insurance or better Medicaid and just health in general?
I'm lucky.
Because
I'm lucky because my parents, my father, had a job where he was entitled to keep me under his insurance as long as he could because I'm disabled. So unless I get married or move out or something, I'm always under his insurance. So I'm pretty good in that respect. I do have Husky C, which is basically like Title 19 or whatever you want to call it, which does pick up whatever my main insurance by my father doesn't pick up, they pick up, so it's usually the copay, so like if I ever copay on my baclofen, which is a CP drug, and it's usually like a $6 copay because my father has very good insurance. The state, the Title 19 will pick up that $6 copay, and even in the hospital, I'm going for surgery in a couple weeks. So whatever my father's insurance doesn't pay, then my Husky would pick it up right away. So it's all free clear. So my advice is if you're still under your parents' insurance, just make sure you get like Title 19 something. I mean, up here in Connecticut, where I'm from, it's called Husky C. But I don't know what part where you are from.
the advice, Marie.
My advice would not be applicable to Talia since I live in Canada. But for Canadians, what happens is we have our medical, our MSP that we pay into, and you start to pay into that as an adult at 18. That does not cover extended health benefits, though. So everybody without extended health benefits coverage has to shell out themselves. Because I worked in healthcare and had a very good insurance policy with my employer, I have paid into extended healthcare benefits for 21 years. So I have coverage that the average Canadian wouldn't have unless they were working. So again, like Marie, my situation's a little bit different than some other people with CP might find themselves in. I am not living with my parents. I'm married and living in my own home.
Wow, that gives me some hope.
Yes, ma'am.
Kevin, do you have a question?
Yeah. This is gonna be a bit of an odd one. From you, Heather. This is gonna be mostly to you, since you're more on the experience table of it, and so for you growing up, before you moved into your own place, did you ever have separation anxiety when you had to deal with the had to deal with the having to deal with the implications that would be involved if you were to separate from your parents?
No, I didn't. I've always been very independent personality, so the soonest I could get out of my parents' house, the soonest I did. But again, up until I was 29, I walked independently without any aids. So life was a whole lot easier back then.
I was just like you, Heather. I grew up with having a walker until I was 16, and then at 29, the CP started to change a little, so I went back on the walker.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
oh, sorry.
with me, I was able to walk fully. I was able to sit Indian cross. I was able to bend down on my knees. What happened to me was I had a surgery back in 2001 to put my hip back in place, and it made those movements very painful, and my hip movements very tight, and I have never been able to sit Indian cross without feeling any pain or flexibility without feeling any pain.
Taya, have you tried Botox?
Yes, and for the bad part of it all is that a couple years ago, when I was like 17, I went back to a specialist that specializes in hip surgeries, and they did the x-rays, and they said your hip is out of place again. The thing is, they can't fix it because where the first surgeon cut the bone, it looks like a chicken bone, and it's all the way out in this socket, so.
Ouch.
I'm fully wheelchair bound. I mean, I try to walk in the light gate, but my hamstrings are extremely tight, so.
So are you saying that that surgery that you had done when you were 16 or 17 was a failure?
No, the surgery I had done when I was 6 was a failure.
Okay.
17 when I found out that my hip fell back out of place after the surgery.
Whoa.
Okay. Unfortunately, failed surgeries, orthopedic surgeries especially, are quite common in adults, teens and adults with CP, as the doctors try to do their best with us, but they really don't know what they're doing. I've had multiple failed knee surgeries, which have resulted in chronic pain, and I now have to walk with a four-wheeled walker and or use my manual wheelchair or power wheelchair on really bad days.
Looking back, I wish my parents would have told that surgeon that I didn't need the surgery when I was 6, but they didn't. My parents didn't know. They were young. We just moved from the Bronx, and we were just trying to get the help, and they said that this will stop me from having pain. So they went along and did it, but I think knowing what they know now and what has happened, they probably wouldn't have done it.
I'm in the same boat. If I could go back and have my parents not say yes to the first knee surgery when I was 12, then I would do that. But
and you're like, no.
Again, they were guaranteed that the surgery would solve the problem with my kneecaps. Well, they were all epic failures. So
Epic fail. Hashtag CP epic fail. Hashtag.
But we're not epic failures.
No, we're not epic
failures.
Yeah. Although we have CP problems, but.
And what the doctors don't know and don't explain to us is that actually because they don't know, they don't explain it to us as we age. Our CP doesn't change. Our CP stays the same, but as we age, we get more adult health, the typical common adult health issues, so that interferes with the CP, so it makes the CP feel or looks like it's getting worse, but it's not. It's just a combination of the CP and the fact that you're aging and your health conditions from aging is changing or fighting against CP.
Sorry about that, Murray. But I feel like when you're a woman and you get your menstrual cycle for the first time and you have cerebral palsy, it throws it off.
Oh, it does. It does. It took me a couple years.
Hi, Amberlynn. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. It does. For the first few years, it does. And then
I think, in my opinion, it gets worse over time when you're a woman and you have your period. It just throws your whole CP off. In my opinion, and from what I experienced.
Hi, Amberlynn. Where are you from and how old and what kind of CP do you have?
23 and I'm
I think Amberlynn froze.
Yeah, I think she did too.
Yeah, now all I'm seeing is the ceiling.
Your picture froze, Amberlynn.
Well, as far as I know, it's kind of lagging really badly. So.
Oh, okay. Anyway, to get back on what you were talking about while Amberlynn sorts this out, Marie, you're correct. The initial lesions that we suffer as babies or young children don't get worse as we age. So that's why they call CP non-progressive. But as we age, the way our muscles pull on our bodies causes us to age quicker. So you get early onset arthritis, you get early onset chronic pain syndrome, you get early onset chronic fatigue. And their umbrella term for it right now is a post-impairment syndrome, which is similar to what post-polio syndrome is for polio victims, if you want a kind of a comparison.
I never heard of that. That's interesting to know. If you could send me that information or
yeah, I'll find some links and send them to you.
Yeah, so we can
that'll be interesting.
Okay.
So we can find my healthy lifestyle page. So
Let's see. Hi,
Amberlynn.
Hi, Amberlynn.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, just off and on. It's just your video end's acting up, but otherwise we can hear you.
Okay.
Anyhow,
Do you have a question for us?
Not that I could think of.
How old are you?
23.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're older than Talia.
How about we get on the subject of independent living or dating? You choose.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In terms of the whole DNF, we might want to also go into that because
Go into
now
what?
because for you Marie and Heather now would you say that your cerebral palsy at certain times has impacted has like your experience in terms of dates or anything or anything like that growing up?
Heck yeah.
Yes, if dating has impacted, if cerebral palsy has impacted our dating lives growing.
Yeah, me three.
Yes.
It's impacted mine totally.
Yes.
I think it's all the way we act as a person. Dating for me growing up, I never really dated because I was just the sister to everyone. I was the tomboy to everyone.
Yeah.
The guys wanted to be with me, but they wanted to only hang out with me as friends, which was fine with me until to like my 20s. And then, you know, the girls growing up all hated me because they had all the boys hanging out with me because I knew
That's
it.
because you had e swag.
You had to socialize with them better because they weren't afraid of me. I don't know if I could take it as a positive or negative. They weren't afraid that I was gonna ask them out or something. Marie, the
I,
trouble.
I think for me, dating was always difficult. I mean, before I met my current boyfriend, I was with a guy that was autistic, but he didn't really accept my CP for what it was. He would always tell me like you would be so much more beautiful if you just had legs that would work, and then that lowered my self esteem a lot.
Oof.
And then shortly after that, I was with another guy, and that didn't work out neither. And then I met my boyfriend, Austin, and I'm more happier than ever now. So that's the end of that.
How about you, Heather? Because I know you wrote a very wonderful story about that.
Yeah, I did write a story for the Mighty. For me, growing up, I didn't date while I was in high school at all. High school wasn't a fun experience. I was bullied throughout school. And like Marie, the male friends that I did have just viewed me as friend or like a sister, but never anything else. Um, so I actually had my first boyfriend when I was about 25, and we dated for about 13 months. And he broke up with me for his own personal reasons. It had nothing to do with my CP. And then I didn't have another boyfriend for a very long time for the same reason that men just couldn't see past the disability. And I'd gotten to be very content being single. And then I met my husband now at church, and we became friends. And 3 years into that, God shifted things surprisingly for both of us. So, yeah, we've been married for 5.5 years now.
Lucky you.
Yeah, very lucky, very blessed. Thank you.
So I mean, Talia, don't worry because you're
Mm-mm.
still young and you know, I remember I dated over the years and I met my first official boyfriend, 2 years ago. And, not that I also wasn't, I was very, I was, I wasn't Sure. You know, I had my troubles in my 20s and did a lot of stupid stuff, so.
What
Yeah.
about you, Aaron?
Yeah. The thing was for me, I didn't really start dating until I was like way later in high school, and I was like until I was like what 17 or 18 maybe if I can remember correctly. Because I once did a article for the news at the time after I was having after a certain day before I was having my first date, and so anyhow, just to not get too off from here, with me growing up with that, unfortunately, socially, I kind of feel like I came more off as more immature and kind of like and just kind of like behind it all in terms of like my emotions and everything, and it's just and then there's of course the two other experiences I've had, which the other I don't really want to, which the other, of course, it was only for some amount of time. Then of course I'd ended off. Then the third one, of course, after about 3 months was a nightmare, and so it's kind of like I'm basically trying to get my trust back in people because it just seems like out of friendships and like family and acquaintances and whatnot, it just seems like I seem to get used very quickly since I can't recognize toxic signs.
Well, I feel like I can relate to Aaron a lot because after my first relationship with my first boyfriend, who I was with from 7th grade all the way to 10th grade, and then he dumped me on Valentine's Day. It took me a while to open up my heart again. It was just awful. I felt like I was being used, I was being played, because
Yeah.
for his obvious reasons. But now I'm just like I feel more comfortable knowing that I have somebody that I could relate to, and I think for me, dating somebody with my same disability was better for me because I could connect with them better compared to dating somebody able-bodied, in my opinion.
Yeah, but again, I with what you were saying there, I did at one point, but of course, I didn't realize the red flags till like later on. Then, if I would have realized, I would have ended things off sooner.
Well, that's okay because sometimes dating somebody with your same disability may not work for certain people. Like, there's nothing wrong with dating an average bodied person, you know what I mean?
For able body,
Able bodied, I meant to say, sorry about that.
I think part of the dating process is learning the hard lessons, and you guys have just addressed one that is sort of a pandemic with people with disabilities of all kinds, is the fact that we are kind of vulnerable. And
Yeah.
so part of the learning curve is learning how to pick up on what signs are there that would say that this person's being disingenuous, is there to get whatever they can get out of you, that kind of thing. I felt used too in relationships, Aaron, both romantic and friendships. It doesn't matter. You need to eliminate those toxic relationships from your life as soon as you identify them. Because you need people that are there because they want to be with you genuinely, whether it be a friendship or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, whether they have a disability or they don't have a disability. My husband is able-bodied, so again, it's different for everybody.
and I think it's all about the way you act. Like, if you don't act like the CP bothers you, they're not gonna act like the CP bothers them. I think that's one of my qualities one of the qualities that I possessed in my family told me all my life, don't let the CP bother you. If it doesn't bother you, it's not gonna bother them. And I have always been nonchalant about my CP and like growing up in my 20s when I was your guys' age. I wanted to deal with my CP at all, and I got myself into a hell of a lot of trouble with the opposite sex.
Ah,
I don't want to even talk about it.
that's something you could write about in an autobiography.
Uh,
Miss-
anyway, for me, anyhow, it just in the long run, I'm just kind of like, just after everything that's gone down, I'm just having a lot of mixed perspective, and I don't know what to take because it could just because like as I said, when you have to do with the whole trust thing, that's where I think you really have a red flag right there, because if I do not want to get off too off topic here, but there is a condition out there called Williams syndrome, which is kind of like excuse me, I don't want to get too off topic, but anyhow, there's a condition called Williams syndrome where it basically causes like infinite trust no matter what, even if they don't sense a stranger danger. Again, I don't want to get off too off topic, but Heather, have you dealt with anybody that's had that condition or anything?
This is the first time I'm hearing about it, Aaron, and I didn't quite catch what it was called.
It was Williams syndrome, from what I remember.
Williams syndrome?
Yes.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
Is it Baker Willie?
Because I checked and there is a clarification for that. Let me just. I'll send.
You got Baker Willie?
Hold on, guy.
There's a condition. I've never heard of Williams syndrome.
No, me either.
William, I think I have.
I've heard of Pam drink syndrome, that syndrome where something takes over your body, but I've never heard of that.
Hold on, I'll look it up too.
Yeah, if you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about because there's clarification on it.
I've never heard of that.
Maybe post a link for it in the group, Aaron, and then we can look at it later.
Yeah, definitely. Let me just send you guys.
Oh, here it is. Williams, a developed disorder that affects many parts of the body. This condition is characterized as a mild to moderate intellectual disability or learning problems.
Okay.
So I'm guessing a doctor named William discovered it.
So I could also tell you, and I don't know if Heather could tell you too, probably she could, is that like when we have a brain injury like ours, sometimes it takes our brains longer to understand things in life. Am I right? Or Heather, what have you thought? Like I always thought relationships were like what you saw on TV.
I feel like I fought hard.
Well, I mean, trust issues were already very difficult for me going into adulthood anyway because of sexual abuse when I was a child. So that was complicated. I think we can pretty much say that adults with CP would have trust issues for varying different reasons going into friendships, relationships. It
anything.
doesn't matter.
Like, I had this girlfriend with TP, like a friend that's a girl, just to clarify. And
I gotcha.
I met her in the 6th grade, and we became the best of friends. But the friendship was toxic because she would just create so much lies,
Yeah.
like so much of it, to the point where she's older now and she does the same thing.
I think it's also an immaturity. I think because we're so sheltered all our lives from, because our parents are afraid to let us wander off. Our parents aren't there for us. I think we have a little immaturity about ourselves until we figure out things in life.
Okay. Oh my God. Say hi, Mommy. My mom says hi, y'all.
Hi.
Yeah, I think when it comes to dating and stuff, I think with me, I feel like I fall too hard. And then when I get hurt, I'm like, but why?
I think that's everyone's problem. It's not just a CP problem. It's just everyone's problem. We might be more
Like,
prone.
I've only been in love twice.
Are you saying, Talia, are you saying that you're maybe too quick to trust?
Yes. That's what happens to me. And then I wind up getting hurt in the long run, and then I'm so devastated. And then I'm like, why did you do this to me? And then my mom's like, I warned you. She's done that with a couple of friends.
Well, sometimes that just comes with age, though, and experience. I mean, you learn to be a little bit more cautious before you give your heart away.
Oh, yeah. Funny story, not throwing you guys off topic, but how I met my boyfriend was through an article that I shared online about my story. And he wanted a copy of James Ticking Time Bomb so bad. But I learned from my last experience, so I made him wait 6 months before he can get a copy of it. And we joke about it now, but I'm like, I wanted to see if you would want to get to know me for me instead of reading the book and then getting to want to know me just to say you're with me because I'm an author.
The valid point.
Yeah, valid. I should have made him wait longer, but ew. So it's just those little things that are with me, the trusting. What about you guys? Like, what about you, Aaron? Do you think you would get back into the dating scene again?
To be honest, probably not for a long time because
Of course.
probably, I mean, when I mean not for a long time, probably for very, very, very long time because with me growing up, I didn't really have of any social experience whatsoever, and so I was basically almost say like impaired socially growing up, and I had a lot of the most of justice notes instilled to the state, but as I said, where I'm getting at here is that it's just at that point where like, where do I draw the line in terms of to where if I were to stay where I'm at or if I go forward or whatever,
Yeah, I could agree with that. Drawing the line going forward.
Because
and there's no rush. I mean, you guys are still in your 20s. Okay, a bit of a reality check here. I got married at 44. Hello. It's not, there's no I know, I mean, I know parents can put pressure on or friends can put pressure on,
Like,
but
you need to hurry and get married. Like, no.
but just silence those voices because it's up to you. You get to make the decisions.
And I
And
feel like if you get,
so
I
if you
feel
need
like,
to take time, Aaron, you take time. You take as much time as you need.
Yeah, it's just as I said, I'm just kind of looking for your help because again, it just part of it is that, with me, because with me not having much of the social experience growing up, that has impacted at times that has impacted me severely when it comes to even taking a relationship even further.
Yeah.
Sometimes it ends up getting toxic later down the road.
Yeah.
have you ever thought of trying like speed dating or online dating? I know
You,
I don't.
Oh
Been
my!
there, done that, got the t-shirt, not worth it. Thanks, guys.
You've
Oh,
done
oh
that?
my! Oh my God! When you just said that one thing in terms of dating, like I already tried that, and after those months, a complete nightmare, especially because of my studies.
and I think too, for people that do stuff like that, they have to be secured in themselves and be safe on the internet. On my page, that's what, one of the subjects we touch on in healthy lifestyle of CP is, we have to be secured in who we talk to on Facebook, who
Yeah,
like pages, and I've told you guys this before, and you guys all know that I have another Facebook page with my personal life, but then because I don't want people that I don't truly know to see my personal life, and I think that's very important for you guys to understand. You can just accept whoever on
every
your and think that you can put like, oh, I'm going shopping here or there, and they're
yeah,
not gonna
no.
know you if you live in the area or whatever.
I think with me, I think for me, I just have my stomping on cerebral palsy with Talia page, and then I have my regular one, but that's booming up with a bunch of people.
That's why, and you have no idea who they are.
Yeah,
That's
that's the one I have.
That's why you have to go onto Facebook and make yourself a whole nother account. I have a whole nother account because
Oh,
people don't know seeing my personal stuff.
yeah. No, if you don't know how to screen for fake sites or people that have nefarious intentions, then I would do as Marie suggested and keep your private life on a separate page. I have a business page. I have my personal page. My personal page is now public because I have a business page. So because of that, I am careful about what I put on my personal page. I've never been one to kind of use it as a diary like some people do and post what they're doing at any given time. I'm very selective of what I put on there.
Yeah.
So I guess my advice would be just be wise about what you're putting on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Oh, I have cousins in New York that post everything. Like they'll post personal stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, why do you do that? Don't you know people are gonna Google you at the end of the day? Like if you apply for a job, I guarantee you nobody wants to read a freaking story on how much drama you had at your old job today, or
And that's the thing. That's the thing. If you like something on your page or you comment on something on your page might go into it might go into another person's Facebook page, and let's say I'm commenting on, I don't know, my sister-in-law's page, and I'm on Marie Wolf CP, then everyone sees what I comment on my sister.
Guys, I think we have somebody in the chat box, because when I scroll over, it says one chat, so do I click on it?
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm just going to step away for a sec, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll just put
Oh,
my
that
picture.
was Aaron that sent us a chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, dating, everything that normal people do, we do as well. Like, we have minds.
We take more time. Well, like I say, you have to work out with CP.
Yep. We take more time, but we get it done. You know what I think would be cool, though? You know how TLC has all those shows on dwarfism? They need to come out with something with CP.
I was thinking the same thing the other day, because this.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree, but you do need to realize that with the media, they tend to manipulate. They tend to manipulate the perspective.
Yes, guys, can I tell you guys a story? I was supposed to be... Have you guys seen the TV show Catfish?
I've heard
On
about it.
MTV? Well, I was gonna be on Catfish. I applied for it and everything, and the producers called me within 2 minutes of me filling out my application, but there were so much things that they wanted to do that were shady behind the scenes that I wound up saying no, and they wanted to give me like $5,000 just to be on a reality TV show. I mean, I was 18, I was young, but still.
Well, you know what, guys?
It's just in the long run. What I want to say is, if you're wanting to start something, start with a set of friends of yours, or you're by yourself, because if you're to say to try to go into a show or something, you're gonna have to deal with shady business practices.
Yeah, but we're getting off topic. We're getting off topic here. So
I need to go in about 5 minutes, because I have a Facebook Live on my site. I'm sorry, guys. I thought we were gonna talk soon. They made it for 6:30.
it's all right, Marie.
So. So I enjoyed talking to you, and we could talk another day all together.
Yes, we could.
Okay, I'm back.
So Marie's gotta hit the road.
Oh, okay.
Hit the road. I gotta do another Facebook Live on my page.
It's a busy day. It's a busy day.
It's a busy day for all of us.
I'm gonna get it done by 7.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We love you, Marie.
Love you, Marie.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
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 So what's our topic now?
Oh, we're talking about World CP now because we kind of got off topic with the TV show thing.
I missed the TV show, but that's okay.
Okay, the TV show thing was, you know how TLC has like these things with dwarfism and ENA has Born This Way? Well, where's our show? For people with cerebral palsy. I mean, the closest thing we have to that is the Push Girls.
Or Speechless, I guess. I don't watch it,
but still, we need a reality show that goes into our lives with CP, the reality of it.
I just
Besides
wonder
that,
how real the reality shows are, though.
they're not really real. They're like 5%
Mm.
real, 50%.
Yes.
You know, actually, I was going to be on the TV show Catfish a couple years ago.
Really? Wow.
And I'm thankful that I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Cause then I would have been popular, but would I really want to be remembered for the girl that had special needs that was on Catfish? Like
No.
when I told my aunt about it in New York, she was mad that I even applied. She's like, "Why are you applying for that wretched MTV show?"
Hmm.
So
All right, back to World CP Day.
Back to World CP Day.
Yeah. Anyhow, it just as I said, it just anyway. In the long run, it's just anyway. Heather, for you growing up, what would you say is really important in terms if you're dealing with people and you're trying to look for the red flags? If you're not able to sense the first time that something is off.
If you find yourself doing all of the calling, all of the messaging, all of the texting, initiating everything, that is a huge red flag.
Yes, that is a huge red flag. And if the parents don't like you because of your disability, run.
Yes, that would be,
I've had that happen to me.
that's another good one.
With my first boyfriend, yeah, too. I can't get into that one, but yeah, if the parents don't accept the fact that you have a disability, run. Like,
Yeah.
run, exit the front door, don't look back.
Is that helpful, Aaron?
So,
Just as I said, because I'm just kind of looking from your end of things because, as I said, with me, because for me, unfortunately, I'm not able to look for the red flags, and so certain half the time, unless somebody's with me, other half the time, I'm basically other half the time, the other half the time, I'm basically in guard mode, basically.
Understood, yeah.
understood. I think we all get in guard
Yeah.
mode. I think, especially when it comes to like dating and relationships and friendships in general, I think we all shut down at some point. But you gotta learn from the experience, and you gotta think that not everybody's gonna be like the last one or the next one. You know, it's a different experience.
The other thing that might be helpful for you, Aaron, if you're not able to read the signals, is if you have a close friend that is, get them to read for you. If you know that you can trust their read, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, because as I said, because unfortunately for me, other than verbally, I can't. Because other than verbally, non-verbally, I can't really read the signs whatsoever.
Okay.
So
So
then,
yeah, that would be my advice then.
Okay.
basically for me, if something like that were to come up, then I'd be basically in jeopardy because I'd be getting tossed to a corner.
Yeah.
In the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So, what's your guys' favorite part about having CP? Like, what's your one favorite perk that you guys have?
It's made me very tenacious and very persevering. I don't give up, ever.
I could agree with that statement that we all don't give up, and it's made us more stronger. But my favorite thing is going to Disneyland and getting on everything first. It's true. When I was about 9 years old when this happened to me. Mickey Mouse was about to leave, and the worker at Disney World made me get on back of the line, and Mickey Mouse got mad at her and made me take a picture with Mickey Mouse.
Yay.
Oh my
Well, no kidding, me and my mom will do 2 parks in one day.
Sweet.
But since Disney now has changed their laws to where everybody with a wheelchair has to wait in the back of the line. We go to Universal instead.
I've only been to Disneyland once and I was an adult, so they didn't let me through.
They should have.
No. I was still ambulatory. I didn't have a cane or anything, so no.
I love going on It's a Small World. It's a small world after all.
Oh, jeez.
And eating the Mickey Mouse ice cream. Oh, it makes me want to go back this year for Christmas. Yeah.
Have you been to Disneyland, Aaron?
Nope.
I've been.
Nope. For me, my parents, we've never had the money.
Right.
Oh,
I've been a big fan of Disney for years myself, but again, me and my parents never really had the money to do so because it's like, I mean, think about it. For how much they have to deal with, it's like thousands of dollars.
yeah, it is a lot of money to go to Disney.
It is, yeah.
So you guys want to hear a funny story about me in Disney World?
Oh, gee.
When I was 9, my dad decided that he was going to try to get me on the House of Terror, the Twilight Zone ride. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's like a ride that it's like an elevator, but it's themed like a haunted hotel.
Oh, jeez.
And I couldn't even make it past like the intro to the ride.
No.
I was screaming, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Strangers even offered to watch me, and I wanted to go with the strangers, not to go in the house. Luckily, my mom was like, heck no, these strangers are not going to watch my daughter. So long story short is that I had to take another elevator to exit the ride, and I was just freaking out. And long story short, I never got back on that ride since. I've never attempted it.
I saw it from a distance, and that was enough.
It just scares me half to death.
Yeah, not my favorite thing. Give me the roller coasters, though.
Yeah. The rock and roller coaster's the best one.
Yeah, that wasn't there when I was there. So.
And then in Universal
Space
Studios,
Mountain was there.
Grad Bash, I got on Harry Potter by myself. Mom thought she was gonna have a heart attack, and because my mom was a chaperone for the senior field trip, and she's like, please don't let my daughter fall out. Please don't let my best time ever. But yeah, that's
You rebel.
yeah. But I have to be in the mood for roller coasters.
Oh, I love roller coasters. But they have to be classic roller coasters. No going upside down.
I do the ones where you go upside down all around.
No.
I don't like the wooden ones.
Oh, those are the classic ones. They're so much fun.
Yeah, but I went to this one in Dollywood, and it gave me a headache. Yeah. Ones where they bang your head.
Well,
Some of them, they bang your head, and then it gives you a headache.
it's not
Like the Mousetrap, I put my uncle on that, and he was saying, I only loved that the whole time. Like, because he's not a fan of roller coasters. So I had to put him on something. This was like a few months ago in Animal Kingdom.
Okay, we're diverging off topic again.
Yeah, we're dividing off topic again, but still, that's my favorite part about having CPA.
Okay.
Inspiring people. So.
What's your favorite, Aaron?
To be honest, for me, it just kind of, it just for me, I guess it's kind of an.
Yeah, we're gonna stay in because it's raining. And,
Okay.
I want to take it to the bathroom.
Okay.
And I need a picture.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm gonna hit the hay.
Okay.
Nothing. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but it was good speaking to you guys, and thank you for having me.
Okay.
All right, Talia, have a good night.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Anyhow,
Sorry, Aaron. Finish your sentence.
yeah. Anyway, I guess I guess probably for me, I guess it'd be kind of. I guess for me, it'd be kind of. I guess it for me would probably be like in the long run, being able to speak out for others, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
For those like say that for those that are not the lucky ones, and luck would be able to speak out
Yeah.
on their behalf.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Cause Heather, have you had it? Have you had any of that experience?
Yeah, I've had instances where I've been able to advocate for others that are nonverbal. So, but I'm really good at reading nonverbal communication. So, part of being a life coach is being able to read all forms of communication.
Yeah, lucky you have that.
Yeah, well, each of us is very unique in the gifts that we've been given. So,
Yeah, but you are very lucky you have that because then that benefits you.
yeah, it benefits me, but it means I can help other people too.
Yeah, yeah, which as I said, because if because you know because in the long run, if I wouldn't have had my whole nightmare health history growing up, then at least I'd have then I have a better perspective on socialization and everything when it comes to disabilities and everything else.
Yeah, and that'll come with time, Aaron. I wouldn't give up on it. You're just a little behind, that's all.
I'm just saying because sometimes this may sound a little weird, but there are like some random occasions to where I sometimes still feel like a child.
I could understand why you would feel that way, but you're not, and you'll get the hang of this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm especially saying because especially for me, because sometimes my emotions get really bad. I don't want to get too far on that. I don't want to get too far into this, but of course, as most people, if they were to know me, that if they were to upset me or get me really angry, then I'm not to mess with during that time. Because
So you have a short fuse or a long fuse?
so basically, I basically have very quick impulse.
Okay, short fuse.
Yeah, essentially. So it's kind of like for me, I'm basically kind of in trouble with being able to keep myself calm and everything. And so it's like, especially for me, with me trying to get into the real business, that's gonna be part of the trouble because be able to keep myself under control for what I'm doing for other people.
Yeah, you need to stay calm.
I mean, in the long run for that, do you have any advice when it comes to that, especially when you're working with people?
Well, I would we go looking for what's at the root of that quick anger reaction. There's something that's caused that pattern since you were a kid. So we'd explore some questions around that and try and pinpoint the source and then work forward from that. So you get over the obstacle then.
Yeah, because I said because I have had plenty of the times to where I've had the short fuse, and as I said, once I end up getting to that, oh boy.
Yeah, there's strategies that you can use to give yourself time to calm down before reacting. So that's other things that I teach my clients as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just again, it's just what I'm trying to ask is that, especially when you're especially say if you're working with people, do you have any advice in terms of like, even if somebody were to get over the edge, even if somebody were to get over the edge, do you have any advice for if you're in one of those cases where you have to work with one of those kinds of people?
Well, I'm one of those people that's very fortunate that it doesn't matter how upset a person gets with me, I just get calmer. So my first thing that I always tell people if they've lost control of their anger is, okay, take a deep breath. And just give yourself that little bit of a moment of time out where you can get your physical and emotional response under some control. So you can actually verbalize what's going on.
Because again, with me, because then if somebody who's really getting over my head or whatever, then not just impulse wise, as I mentioned earlier, but basically, I almost end up getting to the point of triggered.
Right.
Almost to that point.
But if somebody were to say to you, and if you're in that state, Aaron, okay, hang on, buddy, just take a deep breath for a second.
Oh, yeah, if somebody knew where I'm in that state, but again, sometimes it's kind of unpredictable because sometimes it may just happen abruptly, or maybe because of something that was going on, and then it finally hits me, and
right.
So then I'm like, I'm basically like in kind of in a rut because especially say if you're getting to like the entertainment business, part of it's being able to work with people efficiently and be able to keep it under control.
Exactly. Part of what you have to start to learn how to do for yourself is monitor where you're at on your fuse scale. So if you know that you're coming really close to an explosion, if things are building up and it's getting close, then you might want to give yourself an outlet to let go of some of that emotion. I don't know what would work for you. I don't know you very well yet. But there's different things that can be done that will help to equalize and even things out again.
Yeah. But part of the trouble is that, part of my concern is that say if I were to end up getting to the point where I end up having a job or something, and say if I were to have an issue with somebody, and then it's like I have the short fuse, and then it's like I'm put in a jeopardy situation where me and my job is at stake.
Right.
Do you have any advice or perspective on that?
Certainly in any workplace, there's going to be interpersonal conflict. There's no getting away from it as much as we dislike it. The best thing you can do is come up with strategies that work for you so that you don't get pushed into places where you're out of control. So if you have to say to a person, because you know that you're getting triggered, I can't talk about this right now. Can we leave this till tomorrow? Give them a time frame so they know that you're not just brushing them off. That's helpful sometimes.
Yeah.
Or are you meaning like if you're interviewing somebody live or something like that?
It's just like I'm not as I said, I'm not just referring to when you're interviewing somebody, but say if you're working with somebody.
Right. Yeah. A coworker.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when you put the boundary lines up. So what I would do is if I'm getting upset with a coworker, they're not hearing what I'm saying to them, and I'm getting triggered, then I would say to them, I'm not able to finish this discussion today because I'm getting too emotional. So I need some time out just for me. Can we address this issue tomorrow at lunchtime or whatever? Like give them a parameter. So, they know that you're not brushing them off, but you're also taking the time that you need to deal with your own emotions and get yourself back into even keel.
Yeah, because as I said, because with me, unfortunately, with me, how I've been impacted socially and whatever, all that, socially, when it comes to a job and everything else, it's been my big concern because especially once you start getting to a job and everything, you have to be very professional all the time. But that's especially hard to do when you're somebody that's like has been socially isolated for so many years.
Yeah, I can only imagine. it's difficult for anybody in their 20s going into a workplace for the first time. So you're going to have trials and errors, but just don't give up. That's all I can encourage you to do, is just don't give up, and don't let the fear hold you back either.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just as I said, because yeah, it's just because again there's that whole regimen, and with how the whole system works and everything, it's kind of like where do you draw the line?
That line is different for every person because it depends on personality. It depends on how you react emotionally, if you get aggressive, if you get loud, if you get, you know what I mean? It just depends on it. Everybody's a bit different, so there's a different strategy for every person.
Yeah, especially because as I said, it's just because it's especially nuts because like I said, because in the long run, because especially with the isolation I've had, again, it's because of that, it's been part of my concern, because just like I said, when you have it for so long,
yeah,
it gets to the point where like it gets to the point where it's almost severe.
Yeah.
I mean, severe to the point where it's like you're barely able to
function.
Yeah, barely able to function properly.
Yeah. You might want to look, Aaron, at working with a coach or something, just somebody that can help you navigate through some of the obstacles that are yours alone. There's all sorts of life coaches everywhere. So that's what we do. We just help people. We help people get over these and around these things. But it does take some work, and it does take a little bit of time.
Yeah, because what? We might as well wrap this up.
Okay.
For anybody watching, this course was our roundtable for CP World Day. Of course, Aaron Koneski and of course, Heather.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Bye-bye.